Amy, sorry, I just couldn't see your name there. So, Amy, we mentioned Nikki Haley there. She's no chance of doing anything, has she really?
I love your enthusiasm. No, unfortunately, and I spoke with a producer prior, and she actually summed it up quite nicely, calling it the not so Super Tuesday, because it does seem that Donald Trump is going to take the majority, if not all, of the delegates that will be allocated. There is roughly a third that will be handed out of the 1,215 needed to clinch the nomination on Super Tuesday. And so, I think that this would be a sign, if Nikki doesn't do so well, to finally step aside, unfortunately. Now, it is interesting, though, because he is going out and telling people that he doesn't want any more Romney Republicans to be involved in the party. And they've had state party and county party officials remove people from the Republican Party if they are not in lockstep with Donald Trump, and if they actually question anything dealing with Donald Trump. And so, I don't know what they plan on doing for a general scenario while they are removing individuals from the party system. But so far in the primary, that's where we're at. So you've got now roughly 4 in 10 Republicans who aren't happy that Trump's going to be the nominee, but here we are.
And I presume you're one of those. I know that in the past you've spoken
Yes.
to us and been a critic of Donald Trump, and yet the way has really been cleared for him, hasn't it? Yesterday, that landmark ruling from the Supreme Court, described as the most momentous court decision in terms of elections since Gore versus Bush 24 years ago.
Right. And I think that was a huge mistake, actually. There were 3 states that tried to remove him from their ballot system. And he has been indicted for a number of situations. But the fact that he has not been found guilty of insurrection, and then to systematically remove him from their ballot system, I don't think that was wise. And I think it probably it actually did more harm than good. I think that now people believe that he is being politically persecuted now across the board, as opposed to just looking at each scenario at its own situation. And so now you have people digging their heels in, saying that we're going to support him no matter what. And there are some people who are crazy enough that will say, we'll still support him if he's behind bars. And I actually have the Democrats to blame for this, because Biden is the best situation for President Trump to become our president once again. This man is clearly falling apart, and Kamala Harris is not helping him at all. The two of them together are tanking in the polls within their own party, and they're also hurting just within demographics that usually would support Democrats. They're upside down with Muslim Arabs. They're upside down with Hispanics. And like I just mentioned, they're upside down with their own party. And so this truly is Trump's best scenario.
What about interference in the election? I saw yesterday the first AI images of President Trump surrounded by a group of black men, a group that perhaps you wouldn't necessarily associate him as being sort of popular amongst, you think more of the sort of Obama demographic there. How much is AI going to be involved in this, and perhaps foreign involvement, and how much can you do to protect against that?
It's a huge concern, because there was even a robocall that went out in one of the states that emulated President Biden's voice. And so I think we're in new territory here. And I would hope that Congress is actually fully focused on trying to tackle this. But this is a whole new area that we're having to deal with. And yes, there are images that are being passed around, even as jokes, showing the two of them, looking like they're best friends and hanging out together. So I think we're in for a whole new area that's probably going to cause a lot of damage.